I talk about Boros Charm a lot. And there's good reason for that. Boros Charm is the kind of card that props up an entire archetype all on its own. Boros Charm existing means that red-white burn is always going to be a thing. And a bad habit of a platform like mine can be to just state a simple thing without ever actually getting into why that is the case. So let's break something down real quick. 2 mana for 4 damage to face is quite a lot. Notably, the safe, incredibly, infinitely reprintable spell Shock is literally half of this card. 1 mana for 2 damage. But the important part of Boros Charm and Shock's rates are not actually the mana to damage ratio, but actually the card to damage ratio. You see, when you're building a burn or aggro strategy, one of the important things that you have to contend with is that the cards that you're playing are going to put all of their power into dealing damage to face and none of their power into drawing cards. This seems obvious, but then the follow-on fact is that it means that if you can't deal 20 damage to face with a strictly limited number of cards, the deck just straight up will never ever win. You can do nothing and the deck will run out of cards. If I'm attempting to burn out even just a standard 20 life player with Shocks, I need 10 pieces of cardboard plus lands, which, if I were to play them on curve, would be 4 mountains. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. But 14 cards is literally 2 opening hands. And more importantly, is 3 more cards than you have available to you, even if you go second and are on the draw. However, if you replace some of those Shocks with 4 damage Boros Charms, the math gets very, very different very fast. Every Boros Charm that you sub in for a Shock effect is essentially doing double duty as a card. In burn math, we could call Boros Charm deal 2 damage, draw a card. Don't do burn math, kids. Do storm math. Like and subscribe. But one of the most crazy things about Boros Charm is that it's not just a 4 damage burn spell. It's not Bolt Wave, but 2 damage for 4 mana. Burn Wave, if you will. Which, side note, is now a card that can never be printed, since Boros Charm is in Foundations. But the charm does that wonderful thing that all of the absolutely most broken charms in the world do, which is provide 2 additional cards that you can choose from if they happen to be better than burning somebody for 4 damage in the face at the time. And while it might seem like quite a lot for either of these effects to get better than Flame Rift with no downside, and it is, Boros Charm is positioned so incredibly well because one of the worst parts of a card like Dawn's Truce is the fact that you have to dedicate an entire card in your deck to it, because you do absolutely want this kind of effect. The best, most consistent, and most efficient way to stretch your burn spells into actually ending the game reliably is by playing them with prowess creatures. Boros Charm plus 1 prowess trigger is a quarter of a player's health. That's insane. And so, naturally, if I'm attacking with multiple creatures that all get larger when I play a spell that then makes them indestructible when my opponent attempts to combat trick them or even Day of Judgment them, is, while absolutely not the kind of thing that I would be main decking, backbreaking in the matchup if I happen to have it at the right time. And yes, target creature gains double strike is usually useless on account of the fact that double strike is not trample, and no matter how large my creature is, giving it double strike won't make it go over the top of the 1/1 insect token chump blocking me. Unlike mode 2, target creature gets double strike isn't even a rare level of quality. 2 mana for target creature gets double strike until end of turn is a totally normal, questionably playable uncommon in a white draft deck. And while obviously the immediate thought is to play it with the same prowess creatures as before, if you're adding more than 4 damage to the board by giving something double strike instead of just burning face, then your opponent is in a really, really bad position already. All of this is to say that these things would be true if Slick Shot Show Off were not a standard staple. Now, while Boros Charm will absolutely continue to be a standard powerhouse after the chicken has rotated, this smug bastard changes everything about our burn math. Not only does this thing only having 2 toughness and not increasing make the protection ability even more important than it ever was before, especially in the sweet summer of Monstrous Rage having been banned, but unlike a regular prowess triggering creature, the Rooster produces more damage from the 3rd mode of Boros Charm as soon as you've cast any other non-creature spell that turn, which is pretty easy. How I feel about Boros Charm is at best complicated. I think it's an absolutely beautiful, elegant design. I'm upset that it cuts off future design space. We're not going to get Burn Wave, and every version of Dual Sun Technique is unplayable while Boros Charm is an alternative. But kind of the harsh reality is that if Boros Charm is such a perfect card, are we ever going to print a more beautiful version of this than just making sure that everybody has access to the perfect burn spell in every future format? Honestly, I think that's what Foundations is for. If we're not going to print an alternate version of this effect, Llanowar Elves, then we should just give everybody the version that people know and love. And if people continue to insist upon playing Lava Spike, well then we'll give them Bolt Wave so that they stop looking up what Arcane means.